In a world of black, white, and silver, very few cars stand out as much as this one. Welcome to the jungle, baby, with 2018 Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR. Let's go. And before we move on with the video, please consider subscribing. You know what? Never mind. Subscribe, just do it. Yesterday you said tomorrow, just do it. Subscribe, comment, and like. This will mean the world to me. Share with your friends, share with your grandma. You never know. She might just be a secret car enthusiast. You just never know. Share. This will mean the world to me, honestly. And the more subscribers, the more followers, the more likes I have, the more comments I have, the more I will get a chance to talk to you guys about these gorgeous, gorgeous vehicles. Please enjoy the video. The interior of the 2018 AMG GTR is a special place to be. As soon as you get in, you just feel how tight you are locked into these seats. And I'm a more petite male out there, and I feel very much locked in. I feel very much strapped in and fixed in place. When I go through corners in this car, there is not much movement. The bolstering is fantastic. The seats are very uncomfortable, let me tell you, very uncomfortable. And if you have had back problems in the past, it might give you back problems in the future. But it's a very stiff car. It's not meant for city driving, and you could, and I did, and the owner does, but it's not as comfortable as, say, an AMG GTS would be, or an Audi R8. Whereas the R8, you can just flip a switch and it just turns into a regular Audi, and you can just literally just cruise comfortably through the city and daily drive it. This is a more angry beast. This is a more focused vehicle, more focused for the track use, and more focused for performance. It's not that great as a daily driver, and it isn't a daily driver. And oh my god, I love chunky steering wheels. Hashtag I love them chunky. Let's make it a thing. I love the steering wheel. It's big, chunky, thick, wrapped in Alcantara. The grip is fantastic. It has this yellow stitching in the middle as well. It's D-shaped. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing to hold on to. The flappy pedals are made of metal, and you can tell they feel cold and heartless and ready to kill, and I absolutely love that. And boys, there are a lot of carbon fiber in this interior, and the whole car in general. The owner spec'd this car out from around 200 grand Canadian starting all the way to 300,000 Canadian. The guy just ticked off all the boxes, all the options the Mercedes was offering. It's absolutely incredible. The center console is carbon fiber. Even this lid is carbon fiber. The vent casing is carbon fiber as well. And right behind you, there's this thick carbon fiber brace for structural rigidity and lightness. And very unfortunately, there's a lot of piano black in this car. This interior is very much a fingerprint magnet, and the owner usually keeps a little Louis Vuitton towel to make sure it's nice and reflective and nice and shiny. But despite that, the center console is absolutely beautiful. It's so damn functional. It's full of buttons, hard buttons that do very specific things. It's so easily accessible and beautiful. I love the fact that this car has no touch screens. You get your volume knob, you get your manual mode button, you get the button that makes the engine stop at stoplights to save fuel, because I guess that is very important in a 577 horsepower track monster. You get your active exhaust. You get your suspension dampening button. You get your stability control off button. You also get, naturally, the start-stop button to start and stop the car. And my favorite knob after the multimedia selector, because that allows you to change the songs, my second favorite knob is the mode selector. In the mode selector, you can choose from individual, comfort, sport, sport plus, and race. Individual allows you to customize your own settings of suspension and exhaust. You can choose, for example, say race mode, exhaust in race mode, and then you can choose comfort mode for the suspension, and that allows you to tinker with it yourself and set it to the way you want it. Comfort is the overall softest and quietest mode, which is not that soft and quiet comparing to a regular vehicle. You get your sport mode, sport plus, and race. Race is basically everything off, and you also have this infamous traction control button that allows you to choose from 9 different levels of traction control interference. I guess if you're a really if you're a really hard track user, then this would be very useful for you, but I am not touching that thing. I'm not trying to pay for my mistakes with a couple of kidneys, you know? So we're keeping that on. And the gear selector in this car is so small, it really does not feel like you're shifting gears at all. And it takes a while to get used to because it's a little confusing at first, but is somewhat intuitive after you start using it. And for the parking, you get the hard button to make sure that you're in park. You get your standard Mercedes infotainment system that allows you to see all sorts of engine data and individual configuration and vehicle data. And it shows you a lot of the things that the car is doing at a certain time. For example, it can show you the specific angle that the wheels are turned at, and it can show you the G's, the lateral G's that the car is going through at a certain time. It can show you the amount of the percentage, even in percentage, the amount of throttle that you apply and the amount of braking that you apply. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of information here, and there's the engine data, of course, which is really cool. And I could make a whole separate video on just infotainment alone. You get your media, obviously you get your Bluetooth, and you can connect your phone, obviously play music, you get your radio, navigation, all the standard Mercedes stuff. Nothing special here as far as that. You can even choose your time, and there it is, IWC Schaffhausen. On the dashboard, you get 2 analog dials that are honestly beautiful. I am quite sure that's real carbon fiber in there, but it could not be, but I'm pretty sure it would be for the price. Very responsive, very easy to read. They're made in this matte gray with yellow. It's gorgeous. I really love this dashboard. I love that there are minimum electronic speedos or tachometers. There's no delay in the hands, there's no delay in the readouts, and you can, with the buttons on the steering wheel, you can go through a bunch of different screens. You can go through your trip computers, how many kilometers you've gone. You can have the range of how many kilometers you can still go on this tank, and how much fuel you have left in your tank. You get your odometer, obviously, and the temperature. But my absolute favorite screen, my absolute favorite page on this one is just the speedo, just the electronic speedo that shows you the specific digit for the speed that you're going at, and it's very easy to read and just makes it a lot easier to not break the law. Because it's just that much easier to read, because it is very, very easy to break the law in this car. So this screen will keep you in check and also help you if you are planning to get naughty. We also get the Burmeister stereo, which is absolutely fantastic. This car inside is what you would expect from a Mercedes, including the downfalls, unfortunately, including this some lack of quality here and there, some cheap parts that maybe probably are shared with the C-Class, and the classic Mercedes creaks. And yes, these creaks are not what you would expect from a $300,000 car, but you have to realize that it still is a Mercedes, right? And it does share a lot of the parts with their lower end counterparts. However, overall, this interior is a fantastic place to be. A lot of the things are wrapped in beautiful soft touch leather with this awesome yellow stitching all around. You get the AMG logo embossed into the armrest. You get the Alcantara center console, Alcantara on the door panel as well. You get the Burmeister stereo that is fantastic, and it is a awesome place to be. I I am thoroughly enjoying myself right now, and I would not wish for much else. Although the price does sting and these things, I think I would want them to not be here for the price, to be honest. Some of the functions that you might think that this car does not have, it actually does. If you look up here and you see the buttons on the ceiling. I'm not used to having seen buttons on the ceiling, but you get your heated seats for both passenger and the driver, and you get your hazard lights. You get your you can illuminate the cargo space with one of these buttons as well, which is very odd and sounds completely unnecessary. Also, you get your lights, obviously the reading lights, or the map lights, as they used to call them. You also get this button that has the front of a car, and it's a double arrow, and you'd think it's a nose lift, but to be honest, I don't know exactly what it does. From what I remember, it has a flap under the front, under the nose of the car, that kind of lifts up and down, and you can regulate it with this. I think maybe to create more downforce at higher speeds. I think that's what it is, but don't quote me on that.
Entirely new is the active aerodynamic profile, almost invisible in the front section of the underbody. This super lightweight carbon element automatically descends at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour. The lowered element generates the Venturi effect, which reduces lift on the front axle by around 50% at maximum driving speed.
Well, anyways, it's not the nose lift as you might think from the below diagram. Another really cool thing that I noticed, when you put the car in reverse, you get the very high-res camera, you get the very high-res image, but you also get this indicator in, I don't know if you can see, in the mirror. It's right here, and that is to show you if there's anything behind you. Let me demonstrate. I will put my camera to the right side of the car, put it in reverse. Oh, no, let's drive. And it's freaking out because there's a camera behind us. There's one right there, and it's freaking out. And it will move depending on where the object is. So currently it's on the right, so it's showing on the right. And it's beeping. Driver's door open and transmission not in P. Risk of vehicle rolling away. Fascinating. And speaking of cargo, the car is actually surprisingly spacious for what it is. You could definitely put a couple suitcases in here. Yeah, so here's the famous Louis Vuitton towel that I mentioned earlier, my camera bag, my jacket. There's some wrapping from when the car was new. There's a reasonable amount of storage for sure. One feature of this car that I guess fortunate, well, maybe unfortunate enough to find out, was the automatic braking system. And so in the sensor, in the logo itself, in the emblem, as most Mercedes would have it, there's a sensor that scans how far you are from the vehicle in front of you. And if the computer detects that you're not stopping fast enough to avoid the collision, it'll apply the brakes quite violently, actually, quite abruptly. And what else happens, the car will make you brace for impact. It will tighten the seatbelt, like it'll lean you forward a little bit. It will tighten the seatbelt very, very violently. It feels like it's squeezing your lunch out of you. And it's one of those features that I wouldn't want to find out on my own, but I was on a cruise with the owner of the car, and sometimes the computer would detect that he wasn't stopping fast enough. He was driving safely and everything, but sometimes he would detect that he wasn't stopping soon enough, and it would brake, and it would basically tighten the seatbelt very violently, and it's very uncomfortable. It's very unpleasant and very uncomfortable. That's all I can say about that one. But it's a good thing to have, right? If in case you do you are in a situation like that, that is a very useful feature to have. It will brace you for impact and hopefully maybe even stop before the collision occurs. Under this massive, this terrifyingly long hood, we get an engineered marvel of an engine. 4-liter twin-turbo V8 pushing out 577 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. Whew. And this engine propels this car rear-wheel drive, all power through the rear wheels, propels this big heavy car 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds. And it feels that fast. It really feels that fast. These bloody mosquitoes, man, what? Another really cool thing about this engine is that the turbos are mounted in between the V's, which was really revolutionary at the time when the AMG GT and the AMG GTS came out, I believe back in 2014. And the reason it was done that way is to reduce the length of the intake, and the shorter the intake, the less the air has to travel from the turbo into the engine, and that reduces the turbo lag, and it works. And when I said that this hood opens up 90 degrees, I meant it. I absolutely meant it, 90 degrees. Look at this. What other hood opens like this? It's incredible. Now, this might be a challenge to close it again, because I am... Okay, all right. We got this. And clunk, whew, beautiful. And did I mention carbon ceramic brakes? Yeah, well, these are so ceramic that I can see my reflection in them. Hey, handsome. Now, enough of this talk. Why don't we take this for a drive, shall we? All right, setting off in the 2018 AMG GTR. Let's hit it. Oh my God, the acceleration is wild. So good. The handling, it's so sharp, so direct. The car is literally point and mash, point and shoot. There is no chance. Well, okay, there is a chance, but the chance is very low that it would actually get away from you, because the traction control system is so good that it just interferes right away and it does not let you slip, even on gravel. If the R8 made you feel like you're Tony Stark, this one would fool you into believing you're Valtteri Bottas. Y'all thought I was gonna say Hamilton, huh? Oh, the sound. The crackles. Everybody waves at this car. Everybody waves. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody is like doing this thumbs up. This car really brings everybody joy. It is not a subtle car whatsoever. It stands out from everything. And in this wrap with these wheels, my goodness, everybody loves seeing it and hearing it. Okay, maybe not everybody loves hearing it, but I do. The growl and the crackles are just, oh, the acceleration, my Lord have mercy, woo! Whew, this car will raise your heart rate for sure. It is, it's dramatic and exciting. However, at the same time, it's easy to drive. It's controllable and predictable. And when I said that this car makes you feel like Valtteri Bottas, I meant it. It will make you feel like an F1 driver. When you get behind the wheel, you're thinking, this is a green, mean, killing track machine. This is the Incredible Hulk. But as soon as you toss it into a corner, you realize that it has more of Bruce Banner in it than you might have originally thought. It just hooks, and the traction control system will not let you break the tires loose. It will not let you spin. It just won't. Now, don't try this at home. Do not test the theory, but it really is just, it really takes you along the way. It really takes control. It really takes the wheel when your rear tires start slipping even a little bit. This car is way beyond my capabilities as a driver, and the fact that the traction control is so good makes me feel like a damn F1 driver. And I think it's amazing because it means that the car is accessible to pretty much everybody. And as Chris Harris said, that if you crash this thing, why did you crash it? What happened? Because it really is, the traction control really is that good. Okay, a little bit of gravel, hooks, just hooks, gravel, dust, wet. Okay, maybe not the wet. The wet's a little tricky situation. That's a little different story. But gravel, little imperfections of the road, it just hooks. The traction control just kicks in, and the car just continues to drive straight. it just kicks in and cuts down the power to the rear wheels, and the car just continues to drive exactly where you want it to drive. Now, it is rush hour and there's a little too much traffic here, unfortunately, so I cannot push it as hard as I would like to on these gorgeous windy roads. Oh man, these houses are stunning too. Beautiful scenery. Oh man, and the spooling of the turbo, you let go of the gas, it's so loud, so audible. I was so scared of this car as soon as I started driving it a while back, and I've been in this car for quite a few times already because me and the owner are very good friends. And again, thank him so much for putting this much trust in me and just giving me the keys and just allowing me to have my fun with it. But no, thank him so much. He is one of the best dudes I've ever met and one of the coolest people I know, hands down. And the brakes are absolutely incredible. Those carbon ceramics, yeah, like every time I press on the brakes, it hooks in and it just bites a lot harder than I expect it to, and it just shoves you forward. Even the slightest tap just will make you want to throw your lunch up. It's awesome. This car is absolutely bonkers, as the British like to say. And this car is big. It's a big, long, white car. This giant, long hood that is pretty much like the entire half of the car. The entire half of the car is in front of me. Is in front of the driver. I'm sitting almost at the rear wheels, and the other half of the car is in front of me. This giant, long hood, and it makes you feel like you're driving this giant barge. But when you start driving it the way it's meant to be driven and thrown into a corner, it handles like a smaller car, which is very odd. It handles like a smaller car. It feels like a smaller car when you start tossing it around. And I really think that this generation of AMGs got it right, especially the GTR. A lot of people were complaining about the turbo engines not sounding as good as their natural aspirated counterparts. However, the GTR kind of got the best of both worlds. It's the growl of the V8, this angry muscle car like growl, and the spooling of the turbos at the same time. Oh, my neck is stiff. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow. Oh my God. It's just intoxicating. The way this car accelerates is just erotic. The sound, just the violence that it shoves you forward with. Man, I'm sweating. Like, my palms are so sweaty right now. But at the same time, I feel fully in control. Again, this traction control system is incredible. I feel fully in control, but also hands are sweating at the same time. And my heart is just racing. I can feel my heart pounding. Honestly speaking, I don't know if the R8 is as exciting. Although for the price, the R8 would make a little more sense because it's mid-engine. Again, it looks amazing. Still looks amazing. Sounds great. The interior is not as nice, but it is also 70 grand less, 80 grand less, at least in this spec for what we're testing. If you go for the starting price of 200, they're somewhat comparable. This one would be a little more, but if you get the base GTR, I honestly don't know what I would prefer. The R8 is faster. The R8 it feels like a mid-engine car. It feels like a more purpose-built supercar, whereas this is an amazing sports car, amazing front-engine rear-wheel drive sports car. And I don't know if you noticed, the engine is way back. There's at least, from what it looks like, at least a whole meter, 3 feet for the Americans, of space between the front of the engine and the front of the car and where the engine starts. So the engine is actually behind the front axle. Most of the engine is behind the front axle, which makes it I guess you can say it makes it a mid-engine car, front mid-engine car, whereas the R8 would be a rear mid-engine car. And I honestly don't know what I would choose. I don't know. This car is so much more just angry and exciting, and it stands out, and it's such a looker, and it attracts all the attention. The presence that this has on the road is honestly, in the sports car world, I would compare this to like a Wraith or a Ghost Rolls Royce in the luxury car world. The presence is unmatched in the sports car world, and I love it. I absolutely love it. The way it looks, the way it feels. I wish it was a little more comfortable for daily driving, but this is not the car. It's not that car. This is not that car. It just isn't. This car, like, it's easy to tame. As mean as it looks and sounds, it is easy to tame, and I love it. Because if you wanted to burn through the rear tires in 2 minutes, you can do that if you turn off the traction control, and you can even dial in different. You can dial in the traction control to 9 different levels of interference or involvement. I mean, what can I say? This car is absolutely a gem to drive. And when you want it to be a little more comfortable, just put it in comfort, and it gets a little quieter. It's still not that quiet. Let's face it. It's not that quiet whatsoever. And every time I start it in comfort mode on a cold start, I'm thinking it's in race mode, but then I check it as a comfort mode because of how loud and angry it sounds. And you can cruise in this car. It might not be. It is not comfortable. Don't get me wrong. It is less comfortable than my Mazda Speed Miata, and that car is not comfortable for long trips. But I would hate being in this car for longer than an hour. An hour, I'm good. I need to get out and do some yoga because my back is struggling. It's screaming for mercy. It is not comfortable whatsoever. And also, what I'm also finding is that these seats are, I think, made for taller people, because I feel like the bolstering is kind of squeezing my shoulders forward, and I don't think it's supposed to be like that. And if you look, the shoulders would be a little high on a taller person, but for me, I don't think these seats are made for a shorter person like me. I think if you're a little closer to, maybe 5'10", you would be more comfortable in this car than I am right now. Fellas, this is where I have to end the video and maybe enjoy a little bit of back row driving off camera, just a little more, before I give the car back. Wink, wink. But thank you so much for watching. You guys don't understand. I don't think you understand how much it actually means to you that you guys are watching my videos and you're liking and commenting. You know what? Even put a comment saying that my face stinks or something. I don't know. I'm fat and I need to lose weight. You know what? That will mean more to me than you not leaving any comments whatsoever. And if you have any constructive criticism, please bring it my way. If you have any suggestions, bring them my way. I will read them all. I will accept them all, and I'll process through them all. Guys, commenting, just you being engaged, it means so much to me. And you liking and watching the videos, and honestly makes this all worth it. The hard work, the dedication, and obviously driving these amazing cars. Oh my God! Stop! No, I don't want that. And it actually turns on automatically every time you start the car. So I don't like that. Anyways, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video, and stay patient. Stay patient. The videos are coming. There are quite a few videos coming, so stay patient. And I love you all. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Wear your damn masks. Wash your hands. Stay away from other people. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Incredible.